Hey, there we go. All right. Well, I just finished a video for trying to broadcast and boost a signal for a friend who's going through some problems. And let's get selfish and focus on me. 2019, fuck you. I can't wait for you to be done here, you stupid fucking pendejo. I absolutely hated this year from the start. It was just like a oil field perspective. It was slow as shit. It just was creeping and didn't have a lot of business going on, which I understand is that's going to happen. I'm gritting my teeth just thinking about it. Just my my productivity got kind of interrupted with a constant that happens in everybody's life. I had to go back to where I was born and help bury a family member in April. Still haven't really gotten over that yet. A lot of times where I just want to give Grandpa a call and ask him about various things in terms of meat and want to know about cuts of beef. I was never a great beef cutter. I'm good at pork. I'm pretty damn good at fish, but I could use about another year behind the knife on beef. I'd feel really confident. I After I returned back, I had to go grab a new car because I didn't want to renew the lease on it. I drove that car when I first did Uber. The first year I had it, it was just an Uber car. So I put 82,000 miles on that car with commercial miles, not including the extra 9,000 I did for myself. And that's including a trip up to Illinois. But I really didn't enjoy 2019. I got a new car, and I like that car a bit. It's a car, it's not a person. And a lot of people get attached to inanimate objects, but you shouldn't. You should get attached to people, living, breathing things. And that car I've got is just a tool, and I've been using it for the past 6 months. Because in May, we all lost our job. We had an option to stay with the company and not make money, so we left. And I've been bopping in and out of construction jobs. A lot of self reflection goes on when you're not having the success that you're used to. And I can surmise it pretty easily. I should have moved out to Odessa. As much as I absolutely hate Odessa and Midland, I shouldn't have tried to make San Antonio my home base. I'll say that. I should have used this as a place to rest my head between excursions. But I should have done everything I could have to go out there and better myself. And I'm not that ungrateful. I'm still alive, and doctor said that I need to increase my amount of natural items found in the produce section and lessen the amount of alcohol. So I quit drinking, and I'm not happy. I like drinking. I'm not gonna lie. It's not that it provides me cover from anything. I just like to drink. I think it's a fine hobby to do in moderation. And with moderation, I'll just say that all things in moderation, including moderation. I think it's a Pratchettism. Terry Pratchett wrote that in Carpe Diem, cartiem or whatever. Go for the jugular. Go for the throat. Seize the throat. But this has been a shit show of a year. I'm not really that unhappy about it because I'm still alive and still have power, still have rent, still have my car. Might be late on a few bills. Been a lot worse. We've got 2 more days and then New Year's Eve, and if I can push through all of this, I'll be fine. And a lot of people don't want to. They see a impending deadline and they get to panic. And that's really not what you need to respond with. I know that it's easier said than done, but you need to have action. Action causes momentum. Momentum is what causes you your money. And if you're going to sit still and do nothing, you're not going to have your money. As a man, it's even worse because you're judged if you don't pay for your power, and if you don't pay for your car, and if you don't pay for this or that or the other. And you just, no matter what, you might be a stellar citizen, but you look like a shitbag if you are like me. And I got a repo on a Honda Civic Si in 2016. And I still miss that car. It was a 2-door coupe. I shouldn't get attached to cars, but I like that car a lot. But you don't get attached to inanimate objects as much as they might be utilitarian piece for you. There's other options. There's other ways for you to navigate. They might cost you more in time than in money, but the clock waits for nobody. So you're going to spend the time anyway. Started actually seeing somebody really nice back in November. I was really happy. Wasn't doing a lot of videos at the time. And that lasted for about 4 weeks. And we still throw text messages back and forth, but she's claiming the age difference, which is kind of funny because a lot of women will tell you that they don't want to date a guy that's 20 years older than them when they're in their 20s. You talk to a woman that's in her 60s and she's begging for an 80-year-old man to try to get it up and split the uprights on her. She's begging for it. Come on, let me get an oil tycoon. I want to Anna Nicole Smith this bullshit. Woo! And they do that. It's kind of funny. Guys will do the same thing. Don't let us lie to you. But I was really happy with that, and she's claiming that being 17 years apart, it's really a hard thing for her. And okay, if you want to say that, you may. I don't agree, but I want her to do what she does best, and that's her be herself. And what's really sad is that you meet somebody that's got so much raw talent, and they can change your entire mood with just a smile. And I've never in my life met a politician before that made me feel as loved as I did with her, which is crazy because I've met a bunch of shitty politicians before that they lie right to your face. But she had this power. She had the same power as they do, and she doesn't want to go for that sort of work, and she'd be a natural for it. I mean, she fits all the check marks: minority, female, attractive. But it's one of those things where I just, okay, whatever. And that's how you have to approach it. I mean, I take a loss. I've taken a loss all 2019. I don't give a shit. It's girding me up. It's helping me prepare for 2020. Because as much as I'm trying to turn favor and be a patient little boy for 2019 to start in 4 fucking days. Like anybody else, I'm kind of worried. Like, I might not get hired at the job I want. I might not get the opportunity I want. I might not get this or might not get that. So I got to keep doing what I'm doing, which is basically putting miles, needless amounts of miles on my car so I can continue to fund my existence. But I've got options, and they're not the best options in the world, but they're there. And you take what's there and you try to make the best out of it. Italians do that quite well. We take the last bits of what's in the pantry or in the refrigerator. We'll throw it on the bread. And in Italy, they call that a pizza. Here in America, they couldn't fathom, like, you just put spices and a couple grains of cheese on there and that's a pizza. Yeah, shut up. And that's a pizza. But over here, it's not a pizza unless it's like got 4 pounds of fucking mozzarella and you can pull that shit apart. It's just like a stringy mass of, oh, this is going to clog your arteries and it's going to be painful pooping this shit out. But that's us. That's Americans. And Americans kind of fuck up everything. We do it better than anybody else, at least. But 2019, I won't be sad to see you go. I'm rather happy you're on your way out because aside from 2000, or not even 2000, aside from 1988 and 1994, 88 was when I lost my uncle. That was when kind of got it. Like, hey, a young person can fight it. He's like 27 at the time. Fuck. And here I am. I was like 13, and it just kind of blew me away. But you've got to keep pushing forward. In 94, I was put on a command in the Navy, and I didn't get along well with the CO. Had a NJP, and shit happened. I didn't really worry about a life in the Navy after that because I don't see a value for people that want to foster an army of yes men. In fact, my libertarian conservative nature, some people call that anticlimactic, my nature doesn't allow me to put on a show for too long, which is why I got laid off the Friday before Christmas with all the other temporary agency guys from my job. And that's why I was back to doing Uber. I was actually pouring concrete for Google, and we were laying down fiber here in San Antonio. But the company we were attached to has a man that's an administrator. He's not a man, and I called him the heaviest bitch in the room full of women because he just doesn't exude solutions, or he doesn't exude can-do spirit. He exudes the type of enmity and negative responses from men who work with their hands, to where I just want to drag him by his skin up a flight of stairs or two and then fling him from the valley top to the hard floor below. I want to throw him off balconies. The guy just makes me just angry. And I told him before I left, after they made the announcement we were losing their jobs, I said, I hope you live forever, because I want him to become old and decrepit and rely on other people. I want him to wonder why his bones hurt, because he does nothing for a living but Google and observe and critique other people when they're doing their best. And I saw people, good people, get pulled apart by him. And that sucks. Good folks don't really deserve that. They were trying to make do and put forth the effort to put food on their table. I was lucky enough I had an alternative. If you consider running your car's miles all the way up into the fucking stratosphere, an alternative, it is what it is. If anybody ever asked you, is Uber worth it in the short term? Whatever you can do to pay your rent, pay your car payment, your insurance, do it. But in the long term, you don't want to do it for the long term. I really hope that you guys have yourself a happy new year. Behind me, I've got a television that I got hooked up to my HDMI and my virus machine, and I'm putting together my solution for the complaints I have about Pathfinder. I guess I should also apologize to you, my viewers. I have to apologize to you for having a YouTube channel with a bunch of live streams on it where nothing's going on. And your mind might be. Over here on this side, I've got people looking at computers and trying to figure out equations in their head. And I've got people that are rolling dice and trying to figure out how much damage they've got. And I'm impatient. I apologize to my players. I apologize to them for making the game hard or harder. Because Pathfinder is a very fidgety, very clunky, and very detail-oriented system that will bog very quickly at higher levels. But in all honesty, it's one of the few role-playing game systems I have fun with. And I'm building a clunkier version of it. But the way that my focus is, my elevator pitch is that the combat's going to be very intense, and I'm going to require players to not be on their phones and to pay attention, because if not, they're going to lose their ass. And I lay no claim. I give no fucks. I should not have to give a fuck. I should be able to run a game and to be able to get responses back from players within a second of a question being asked. And I just want to be able to do that as far as being a geek is concerned. I like 3.0 style gaming from Dungeons and Dragons. I don't like 5.0 style gaming because I don't like Wizards of the Coast nowadays. I don't like their fat blue-haired land whales they've got in the fucking art department that are putting all the goddamn furries in the fucking hardcover books. I don't give a fuck about the furries. It's not my thing. And I don't like the fact that they're disrespecting the Larry Elmore and the fucking Jeff Easley and the Brom and all of the Frank Frazetta stuff. They're putting all this ugly fucking trash in the art side of it. And Pathfinder and Paizo is almost no different because they switched their entire system to some ridiculously gay-ass fucking 5e clone for their second edition Paizo Pathfinder. And that's not the game I want to play. It's ridiculously simple now that they're trying to snare some 5e miscreants and pull them into their, and they're not, it's the same fucking game. There's no real difference between the two. You might say, oh, there is a difference. No, there's not. And even worse yet is that when you look at the rule systems for both games, as a GM, I get bored until I hit the multi-classing rules for 5th edition, where I go, oh, hell fuck no. And other people I know are saying, I don't like the way they do feats. They're taking feats out of the game. But what you as a viewer mean to me, all 170 plus of you, I need to say thank you, because you've given me a outlet to post And to my players, I thank you for putting up with me and my temper tantrums. To Steven, please don't use the N-word on live YouTube or whatever we're streaming on. I'm looking for a better alternative because YouTube's getting very stupid with their fucking terms of service. And if this video gets yanked, you know why. Fuck you, YouTube. No, really, just fuck your CEO and fuck your stupid terms of service. Bring back the YouTube of good from like 2009 when we didn't have to worry about all the butthurt people and we didn't have to worry about this shit. These kids worried about the Rilo and the Knights of Ren and all this garbage from Star Wars. I was done with Star Wars in '99 when we had Jar Jar Binks. Nothing's changed. It's still a shitty fucking film series. I said it. I mean, you guys are all bitching about Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and I'm just thinking, I'm surprised I haven't heard the Itchy or Scratchy or whatever the fuck the baby Wookiee from the holiday special wasn't around in there just voweling around. You know how, don't lie to me. You saw the holiday special. So, this video has gone on for far too long. We're at 21 minutes plus. I want you guys to have a great, happy fucking New Year. You see me? We'll toast.